F125 My Team Career Mode for Season 2 pre-season. Yes, Season 1 is done. Max Verstappen won the Drivers' Championship in Season 1. McLaren won the Constructors' Championship. And now we're on our way into Season 2. First of all, of course, going through all the stuff we have to usually go through, like upgrades, research, development, facility improvements, which is what we're doing right now. All that sort of good stuff that is pretty boring, but it's all stuff that we got to go through to get us prepared for this basically 2026 season. So here we go, doing some research for a durability part. Then got some development and redevelopment going on with aerodynamics there, so getting a few of those upgrades going there. And then of course, for durability, we'll get that next upgrade on there as well. So get that going, and just all the usual stuff that you do from race to race. But of course, this time it is the end of a season, so we'll just try and get as many upgrades done as we can before this next season starts. We've got some chassis stuff going on here as well, and then we have to, of course, adapt a chassis part as well, because chassis and powertrain does have a regulation change going into Season 2. Still some facility upgrades going on here, because there's such a big gap between everything here. There is a lot to do, because facility upgrades, they do take a little while, but because there's such a big gap, there is time to do a couple. Now, looking at our end of season reports here, we end the season with 27 million, so that's not bad. Or we gain 27 million, I'm not 100% sure. Fan rating goes up a little bit. We are $65.9 million under budget, which means we've only spent just over half of the cost cap budget, even though we're spending money like crazy. There's our statistics: 8th in the championship, 30 points, so that's not bad. I'm pretty happy with that for a first season. Now we will select our power unit for next season. I can't remember what power unit we had for Season 1. I think it was maybe Ferrari. It was either Ferrari or Mercedes. Well, we're going with Mercedes this time. It's the best engine, and we've of course got our lineup there of Oliver Bearman and Paul Aaron. And now we're officially into the next season. We've got lots of money to work with, and I've actually changed the money, kind of the AI and player money and resource point kind of thing. So I've put it on increased cash and resource points for the AI and reduced for me, because as we'll see going into this next one, despite me only spending half of the cost cap, we've done pretty well going into this second season, to say the least. But we're still we might as well just get as many upgrades on the car as we can. There's no point lagging behind just to make it, make the AI catch up. If it gets to a point where we end up flying way ahead of the other AI, we might start to do that. But yeah, I really just want to keep, the game, we're way under the cost cap. We have this money, we have these resource points. We might as well use them and see what the AI does. So hopefully by doing this increased and reduced cash and resource point rates, hopefully that will balance things out a little bit, because especially going into a new season, the AI in all the F1 games have been quite reluctant. Not reluctant, but they don't seem to adapt as much going into a new season compared to the player, which I find really weird. I mean, we're able to easily adapt going into the seasons, but the AI, for some stupid reason, even the top teams, I don't know why, they just don't adapt as much sometimes. It doesn't really make any sense. That's something I think needs fixing. But now we'll have a look at the Season 2 calendar. So we will start in Australia, then we'll go to Japan for round 2, Bahrain round 3, Saudi Arabia round 4, and then we will go to Miami for round 5 for our first of 3 sprint races this season. We'll then go to Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Round 7 will be Monaco, and then round 8 will be the Austrian Grand Prix, but this time in reverse. We have 3 reverse tracks this season. Round 9, the British Grand Prix, that will also be a reverse track, so I'm very excited to drive these tracks in reverse. We then go to Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps for round 10 and another sprint race. The sprint race is actually all very well kind of split up this season, which I'm very happy about. The Dutch Grand Prix will be round 11, which will be our third and final reverse track, and then round 12 Monza, round 13 Azerbaijan, round 14 Mexico, round 15 Brazil for another sprint, and then round 16 Las Vegas. That will end our season, and now we get onto the cars and drivers. We start with McLaren in championship order, Constructors' Championship order, and it's Lando Norris and Max Verstappen at McLaren. Yes, Verstappen has moved to McLaren to partner Lando Norris at the Constructors' team. They, of course, won 4 races, best finish of first last season, and they did that 4 times. But yeah, Verstappen and Norris at McLaren for this next season. That is going to be exciting. We then go to Red Bull, and it is an all-new lineup and an all-new livery. New liveries on all the cars, by the way. Links will be in the description to all the mods. But with Verstappen going to McLaren and Yuki Tsunoda retiring from Formula 1, it is Pierre Gasly and Aiden Jackson at Red Bull. So yeah, Aiden Jackson from, of course, the F1 Career Mode series from Connor Sport Racing is now in the F1 season, and he is alongside Pierre Gasly at Red Bull. We then go to Ferrari, and this one's interesting. Charles Leclerc is still at Ferrari, but Lewis Hamilton is no longer at Ferrari. He's only had 1 season at the Scuderia, and Leclerc is joined by Callie Mayer. Yes, Callie Mayer, another driver from the F1 Career Mode series, becomes the first woman into F1 in a very long time. The first full-time F1 driver, I believe, that is a woman. So that's very exciting. We then have Mercedes, the final team to also have wins last season. Of course, 2 wins for them, 2 wins for Ferrari, and it was 8 wins for Red Bull, by the way. They also have a new lineup of George Russell and Oscar Piastri. So Kimi Antonelli has been either left or he's been kicked out of Mercedes, and Oscar Piastri has gone to Mercedes to make what I think will be a pretty good lineup of Piastri and Russell. They both are 92 rated, so pretty excited to see how they go. We then have Williams, who of course finished 5th in the championship last season, a very good season for them. Their best finish was a 4th position, 1 4th position was their best finish. They retained their driver lineup of Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon, the first team to stick with the same lineup from last season. And their livery, it's actually the Austin Grand Prix, the Austin Grand Prix livery, the kind of white and blue. I think it looks really cool, so I decided to give that livery a go for season 2. We then move on to Aston Martin, and finished 6th in the championship last season. Best position of 3rd, 1 3rd position. Alonso got a podium midway through the season. They still have Fernando Alonso, but they also have Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Lance Stroll has finally been kicked out of Aston Martin for his lackluster performances, and we now have the oldest driver and the youngest driver on the grid, both in the same team, of course now partnering with Honda. Then we have Haas, and it's a switch up for Haas as well. They finished 7th in the championship, a 3rd position for them, with Ollie Behrman getting a podium in the first round of last season. They have Esteban Ocon and Zach O'Sullivan. So O'Sullivan, who of course was my 2nd driver last season, has gone to Haas. So basically a seat swap between him and Behrman, I guess. But yeah, Ocon and Sullivan. And O'Sullivan. We'll see how that lineup goes. Then we of course have TGL Motorsport, my team. We've got Oliver Behrman and Paul Aaron, and this is the new car. Looks pretty cool. I really like this livery. The main reason why I decided to stick with X-Formic as the title sponsor was because I unlocked this livery. It is the title sponsor livery for X-Formic, and yeah, I think it's a pretty cool looking livery. We're sticking with the kind of gold, black, white, and kind of silvery grey, and I think this livery looks really cool. Lots of sponsors on the car as well, so yeah, very excited to see this car out in action. Then we have Alpine, of course, finished 9th in the championship last season, a best finish of 6th, 6th place finish, the same as us actually, and they are now a team of 2 Jacks. We've got Jack Crawford and Jack Doohan. It is the 2 Jacks at Alpine, 1 Aussie, 1 American, another American on the grid, well, the only American on the grid this season, but yeah, Alpine, literally, they have 2 Jacks, which is really funny. Then we have VCarb, who finished 9th in the, no, sorry, they finished 10th in the standings. Best finish of 6th, 6th place finish. That was their only points finish of the season. That was by Liam Lawson, and they stick to their lineup of Lawson and Isaac Hadjar for this season. No change to VCarb. Yeah, they had a pretty dire season. They only got that 1 points finish in whenever that was with the P6 finish. No other points for the rest of the season, so it was pretty bad for them, to be honest. They will be looking to get quicker. And then we have Audi. Of course, it was Sauber. It is now Audi, and Gabriel Bortoleto and Nico Hulkenberg sticking at that team. Of course, Sauber kind of brought these 2 drivers on board for the future for when Audi takes over. So it makes sense that once Audi is now here in 2026 Season 2, they stick with their two drivers, Bortoleto and Hulkenberg. They had 2 points finishes last season. It was a 10th place for each driver, and that was their best finishes. As we now have a look at the R&D, and yeah, as you can see, we've jumped up quite considerably. Mercedes are the quickest team still, Red Bull second, but we are the third quickest team on paper, which is kind of ridiculous. We've jumped up from like the 7th quickest to the 3rd, and you can just see the projection there, how much we've jumped up compared to all the other teams. The other AIs have either gone down on R&D going into the season, or very slightly gone up in the case of, I think, Williams and Haas, and I think Alpine are the only ones that have actually gone up. So yeah, that is it. We are 3rd quickest going into this season. Now you'll notice that Sauber was still called Sauber, not Audi. I tried to get the team name changer mod working, but it doesn't seem to want to work for me. I'm a little bit reluctant to use it. I'm also using the SERPs launcher for the mods, and it doesn't seem to agree with the team name changer thing. So Sauber will still be called Sauber, not Audi, for this season, so I apologize for that. But other than that, we are ready to go for Season 2 2026 of F1 25 My Team Career Mode. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.